Okay. Alright. Finally. Finally! I feel like I haven't done anything in a while, and that's probably not true. But it probably is. I probably have done something more recently than I believe. But that's neither here nor there. So we're trying a few different things right now. Like muting my computer so I don't have any weird frickin' sounds. Because that's not what we need. Okay, so let's see. There we go. Oh my god, this is a mess. This is an absolute mess. So, for those of you who are just tuning in, I had about this much of this done. And then I decided that between dropping a whole lot of stitches, between these gaps right here being so extensively large, and you can see they're not there, and they're not there. I was like, no, this is not going to work. Now, all things considered, this is a gift, so theoretically, you should accept graciously. Yeah, you should. Which doesn't mean that you know, you can't have nice things, but yeah, just it was a lot. It was a lot. So anyway, this freaking happened. And I decided, well, the only thing to be done for it is to start over. Because of course that's what I decided. Of course it is. And look, that's true. The problem with starting over is that I ripped out 20 some hours of work. Worth it, but oh god. What's not worth it is the fact that I also decided to tangle the yarn when I did this. I shouldn't have done that. Theoretically, there was nothing I could do to stop that. But that's probably not actually accurate. I made a boo-boo. I was in a hurry. It was early in the morning. I had to get off to my day job. I was fucking pissed. It was a bad situation. So, now the thing with it is I've had plenty of time and plenty of practice mucking up. So the good news is this should go way more swimmingly. And what you're looking at right now is about an hour and a half of work. Now, the last time, I don't know if you've been following, but let's just catch you up. The last time I did this, it took me 6 hours to cast on. Okay, that's not fucking normal. That's not normal. There's no reason it should take that long. And the funny story is, I tried a cast on that was suggested for this type of knitting because it was really stretchy. And brioche is very stretchy and squishy. And I kept dropping stitches. And I had to cast on 118. And then I tried to cast it on circulars. And it just, everything that I was trying was just the wrong damn idea, apparently. So I switched over to the double pointed, which was the right thing to do. The trouble is, when you're knitting on double pointed and you go to change needles, you're going to have a lot of, you can have these. These are called ladders, right? And you want your ladders to be short. You don't want them huge and hulking, because that means that just stitches are a little too far away. And there's a really easy way to do something about that, okay? The easiest thing to do, hello, is to just pull it snug between the two. It's not freaking hard. Don't mind me while I'm counting. Okay, so, and I'm counting because I wanted to make sure that, so I'm gonna stop. Grand total 8 times. Yeah, I'm gonna keep stopping. But when you go to switch needles, here's what you do: you pull it tight. It's not hard. It's really easy actually. What happened though is I was having so much trouble with this. I didn't do any of that. So mistakes were made is the best way to put this, and that's fine. Usually like a mistake or two is fine for me. These were glaring errors though. Like, oh, they really shouldn't have been as bad as they were, and I could not live with it. Because you could tell based on where the errors were that they weren't supposed to be there. And I don't know. I would really hate to, give that to somebody. Like, I could have done better, and so that's what we're doing. We're going to do better, right? So realistically, it was about 15 hours of work, 15, 14, somewhere in there. Now the upside is, right, I have learned how to pick up drop stitches in 2-color brioche. I've learned how to identify like when something is going wrong. I have had lots of practice in doing brioche knit. And this will be better. So while it doesn't feel like it at the time of trying to fix all this, it did not feel like it was worth it. It really was in the long run, because now this is going to be this much better. Now I got to tell you, I know a bunch of people who are like, "Oh wow, brioche is so hard," and I got to tell you, no, I don't. The brioche knitting itself wasn't the hard part. All I had to do was learn how to identify a dropped stitch. Done. Hello, done. Easy. And that's identifying a drop stitch is not actually hard. It's actually really easy because you're like, this doesn't look right. Fixing it is another matter. Now the thing with it is there's usually a right way to fix it, and you fix it, and then you're done. You're done. And that's it. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's not. It really isn't that hard. It's not scary. And the thing with it is most people don't knit super super fast. Okay, so it's even less of a reason for you to like get flustered about it. Like if you're not going super fast, the mistakes that you're going to make are not going to be, life altering. Okay. Um they're not going to be that big a deal. And because they're not going to be that big a deal, they're going to be a lot easier to manage when it goes to fix them. You know. And that's fine. That's easy. That's, piece of cake, piece of pie. It's not a piece of pie would be really messy. So, and yeah, sure, it can totally turn into a piece of pie, or as I like to say, spaghetti on the floor. Um, if you let things go too long, if you don't take the time to, learn, if you try to rush, if you try to put stuff off, if you fix things incorrectly, like, sure, there are lots of reasons why it wouldn't work out. They're also all circumventable. Like, really. And look, this is not to diss anybody who has trouble doing things. I don't have problems with this sort of stuff. And the only issue I have with people saying, oh, it's so hard, is that's relative. Like, anything you don't know how to do probably is not going to be easy for you. That's not a big deal. That's normal. That's pretty garden variety. If you don't know how to do something, you're not probably going to do it well. With the exception of people who have literally a knack for doing something. Yeah, no, it's not going to go well. And that's not a big deal. Again, not a big deal. Like, you do not have to get really excited about it and like up in arms about it. Like, it's okay. It really is okay. Okay, yeah, and again, I said I was going to be counting a lot. And so this is really small potatoes. So easy to deal with, totally easy to deal with. Just breathe through it. Like, really, it's okay. So, I recommend it. Yes, by all means, try something new. Take your time with it, give yourself a little grace too. Like, I think another thing that I notice people doing is they have really unrealistic expectations of their abilities. Like, you have never done this before. Why would you be great at it? Like, that's not real. It doesn't make any damn sense. There's no reason for you to be good at something you've never done. There's also no reason for you to be good at something that you don't necessarily have an understanding of. And like, there's ideas about learning styles, and people like, I'm a visual learner, I'm a hands-on learner, blah blah blah. And some of that stuff is really, again, it's really relative. Like, if you're not familiar with the lingo of whatever you're talking about, somebody verbally explaining it to you is probably not going to be really helpful. Whereas them explaining to you and then like showing you diagrams or pictures is going to be another matter entirely, because you're going to have a point of reference. Just like if somebody were to define, the perimeters under which they're speaking, that's going to be different. And that's, again, that's normal. I don't know. People have like the silliest ideas about stuff, to the tune of that's not real and that wouldn't work out, and so like you can't be using like certain things as a metric, because that's just literally not how that works. My guess is this is going to be 43 stitches, by the way. So, and it should be, by the way. That's the other thing. It is. Oh, so I think I got it now. I think I know what's going to happen, which means I'm going to predict that this next go round it's going to be 45, 43, 45, 44. That's how it should work out. And if that is true, then I know exactly how this is going to... I know exactly how this is going to go, which is great. Now, I may have made a mistake in like the first round. but it's like one round. And it is, this mistake is the kind where nobody is going to notice, like really, because even I probably can't see it. So now, the thing is if because this is such a small mistake, if I go and aggressively block around it, you won't even know it's there. And sometimes, like, that's fine, right? Like, sometimes you can totally do that. And that is like a negligible mistake. If it's something where you could like flub it or fudge it and nobody would know, that's small potatoes. That's easy to deal with. But if it's something where it's glaringly obvious, and what the glaringly obvious for me with this was, there were some stitches that were a lot bigger. There were gaps where there shouldn't have been. And these are all like really simple mistakes. There's nothing, catastrophic. But they were rampant enough. And like, if they looked like they were on purpose, I could have even swung that. They did not. They absolutely looked like mistakes. And I had somebody, I went to knit night and I had it with me, and people were like, oh, it looks, it looks really good. It's not that bad. And I'm like, oh, but it is. Like, I have a standard that I like to work to. And whether I'm giving something to somebody or, they've paid me for it, I still need to work to the same standard either way. That's the thing for me. I don't get to slack just because this is a nice gesture. Like, that's not how that works. All right, so this is the last time I'm going to count these things because I'm just repeating two rounds. And so if these are right, then that means I don't have to do this again because that means I've gotten it right. So far, so good. Okay, so, and this is the thing where it becomes really important to take your time, is when you're like transitioning and there's like a common pitfall that's coming up. That's when you need to pay a little more attention. And I usually do. I was really hoping to get this out Wednesday, and that absolutely did not happen. I don't know what kind of utter delusion I was operating under. Because I wasn't even halfway done, like, on Monday. And, like, I actually don't know. I don't remember which day I went bananas. And tried to and frogged it. I mean, I do know that I haven't been feeling well, and that's also probably not helped my ability to focus. In other news, so look, if you're following me, you're going to hear about some of my adventures in trying to socialize with people. That's just how that is. Pretty much I talk about whatever the hell comes to mind. So I've been trying to date, and I think I've decided that we're going to refer to our list to do instead of talking to boys from now on, or for the foreseeable future. Mostly because no one I've spoken to recently is really inspiring me to want to see them or spend any time with them or get to know them better. Like, I'm just not feeling it, as the kids say. And actually today I kind of reached critical mass with it. I got straight up irritated. Some stuff happened at work and I was like, you know what? I'm done. I am done with people. I am so done. I do not care. I do not care. I do not care. And so I was like, well, guess that ship has sailed for now. And look, for now, right? For now. It's not forever. It's just, if I'm doing that, I can't do this. Like, I'm dividing my focus. Yes. Right. So, the theory is holding. I'm dividing my focus, and that's not, what is it? People can't actually multitask, right? What you're really doing is you're switching back and forth between things. And look, hey, if that's what you want to do with your life, I mean, fine. But you're not doing anything efficiently when you're doing that. We can go ahead and argue that for this. Like, I do not need to switch back and forth between trying to be social and like head down, eyes on my own paper. I don't need to do that. And so I'm just not going to. I mean, am I going to just delete all my profiles and not like talk to anybody? I mean, no, I'm not doing that. I'm just not going to put any concerted effort into it like I was doing, because I'm going to use that energy for other things. That's all I'm saying. So, which is not really a big deal. We're going to go ahead and argue that this is probably a way better use of my time. It's more constructive. It's less frustrating. Even with me tangling yarn and like knotting it up and spending, without exaggeration, several days trying to unknot it, that's still way more productive than trying to socialize, which is so sad. To my credit, though, I haven't had an easy time socializing. And look, I am not shy. I do not have a hard time talking to people. So that's not it. It's actually, it's not me, it's you. That's what's going on. Like, I try to have conversations with people, and it's like pulling teeth from a bear who's asleep, and it just keeps rolling over. Yeah. And I gotta tell you, just not my cup of tea. Really isn't. And so, hey, let's just not. We're not even gonna not and say we did. We're just not. Just gonna not. I feel like there's a weird fiber joke in there somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I feel like it's there. It's waiting. So we're at round. This is going to be the end of round 7. As soon as we get to it, I have a grand total of 8 more rounds that I'm going to do maximum, because I need to take another picture. So that's the other thing. Part of this whole new debacle is I started deciding to document my stuff at a slower pace, which means I would get to sections, right? And I would stop and then take a picture. And because I pretty much only take pictures during daylight, that can make getting a good picture, especially when I'm gone all day and I'm gone before like the sun's really gotten up and I don't have any time because I'm away from home in the middle of the day. And then I get home and like up until now, like I've been getting home and it's been not light enough outside, and like it is light enough now, but before that I was getting home and it was dark. I absolutely couldn't take pictures then. So the only time I had was, before work, and that still, I don't have time in the mornings. I'm usually in a hurry. I'm rushing around. I'm cursing. I'm dropping things. I'm knocking things over. I'm forgetting things. It's a bad time. So I had somebody, speaking of bad time, I had somebody try it. It's some prospect, suitor, whatever the hell you want to call them. Tried to call me. I was getting ready for work and I did not answer. And it was like in their best interest for them not to talk to me at that point. Because I'm usually just hella pissed. And I'm not exactly patient. And so it's not gonna be a conversation you're really gonna want to be part of. And I knew that, and I wasn't even gonna explain myself because, hey, look, I don't owe you an explanation. Like, I don't. But yeah, it was, wow. I was just looking at my phone like, really, I'm trying to get out the door. Okay, so yes, the idea has held. Hooray! Okay, so now that I know exactly how many stitches are going to be where, I can just do this. And, okay. So, all right. I think, and we talked about this last time. I was trying to like figure out how to wrap this yarn so that it would lock this last stitch, or this last yarn over. So, I wouldn't have to worry about it slipping off the needle, because that was another thing that happened because I'm working this on, because I'm working this how I am working it on double pointed. It's just easier for me to, muck it up in ways that I just like did not see coming. And so now we can pull that tight. Oh no. Oh yeah, no, it's there. Okay, cool. Just making sure it was right. Well, that would have been easy to fix. I don't want to have to fix anything if I can help it. But yeah, this is where reading your knitting is really important. Because if you can read your knitting, then you can look at it and be like, hey, that's not right. And you can stop and address whatever the problem is. Oh yeah. So, today's irritation brought on one, sunshine. This is one of the guys I work with, and it was just It was just like, what is going on right now? He has like reached epic levels of, I just can't even, as far as doing his job. And it hurts me every time I have to deal with him. And let me tell you, I'm not going to be in a good mood yet tomorrow. So we might not do project time tomorrow. Tomorrow is my 6th day of my 6-day work week. I already want to call out. I gotta be honest with you. I don't know that I can get through the day without wanting to do that asshole bodily harm. Like, no, am I going to? No, I'm not. I don't have a record. I don't need one. But I already know he's gonna irritate the piss out of me. Like, that's gonna happen. And the coworker that I work with in the back that I like, who, actually does his job and is, helpful and all that. Yeah, he's not going to be there. And like, look, I told him, I was like, you going to be here tomorrow? He's like, no. And I'm like, well, yeah. He's like, I might show up. And I'm like, don't come here. Do not come here, sir. Like, you should 100%, like 100% enjoy your fucking day off, dude. Because the man's there all the time. And he works. And he deserves a break. Oh my gosh. And it's funny is every other, so this Monday coming up, I'm not going to be there. So every other Monday, he'll be there and I won't be there. And he'll have to deal with fucking Sunshine. And I told him, like, look, if it's really bad and y'all are really swamped and you absolutely positively need me and it's Monday, you can call me and I may come in. Okay. But if it's Saturday and I'm not there, no. Because that means I have my little and that ain't happening. Like, I cannot switch around my visitation with my itty bit, like, willy-nilly. That's just not, I'm not willing to uproot that part of my life because that is so much more involved, like a thing to do. So we're not doing that. But, oh my gosh. And look, I don't make that offer lightly. I don't want to be at work on my day job more than I need to be. Like, and no. Like, when I'm there, I'm working. And then when I go home, screw them and that whole that ship. I don't know y'all. I do not know y'all. I cannot help y'all. Okay, so right, we have tried to drop a stitch. I did not actually drop it. The needle did come off, but that would be a reason to move slower. Now, let me tell y'all. So here's the other thing I noticed. And I noticed this with the last times. Because the cast on and like the first row are with for me, the contrast color, i.e. the color that's on the inside, it was really disorienting because I was like, but I just added the main color that I want to see on the outside and I can't see it. And it's like, you haven't worked that much of it. And I'm like, oh, okay. No, that makes more sense. It's freaking out, like, for no reason. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I think what we're going to try and do is, I'm going to try and work for like an hour. Okay. Minimum. I don't know that I'm going to be able to make it. I don't know. Hand to God, right now I have to pee. Like, I do. But I'm timing my work on another app that I can't switch to without interrupting the broadcast. I know, I've found that out a couple of times the hard way. So that means when I'm like done, then I'm done. Anyway, yeah, if I switch to that to pause it, then what will happen is this video will end and I will have to start over again, and I don't want to do that. I gotta be honest with you. So we're gonna grin and bear it for a little while at least. I've got 25 minutes. I don't know that I can last 25 minutes, but we're gonna try. I've got Cardi B playing in my head, which is just bizarre. There we go. There's another one trying to slip away. You see? Do you see the pattern? It's the asshole at the end. It's like, I'm gonna run away, and I'm like, the fuck you are. It's like, come back here. I'm not done with you. It's like, I'm done with you. Like, that may be the case, but oh, sorry about that. Oh my gosh. So. Doing this on a circular really would be a lot easier. But again, I don't have the size I need, and so what we're not going to do is order and wait for something to get here just for me to start something when I have something else that'll work. There we go. So I'm calling this the second chance cowl, by the way. It's low key, its nickname, because this is the second attempt, which means I restarted the timer. So I know like my cast only took about like 30-ish minutes. I gotta update the Ravelry page. I've got a bunch of pictures of like progress before I frogged it, and I need to put them up there because I did do the progress. Like that did happen. Even though I took all of it out. Okay, so all right, so now you see this. That was the last one because that is not a stitch, right? That is the ends being assholes. Okay, so that seems to have worked, wrapping it like that. Now, because this ends with a knit 1, like our brioche knit, I don't have to worry about the color A and wrapping it. So that's good. I also, the other thing I did when I restarted this is I cast on more loosely. I really wasn't confident that the cast on was loose enough with the other one. And I was really, really concerned that it was going to be too tight. And so I was going to finish it. And then, like, there's an amount of blocking you can do that can, like, sort things out. But there is a limit to how much you can rely on something like that fixing an error. Like, really what you need to do is not make glaring errors. Adelaide, stop. She's like, I must nose you, mother. I do not know that I'm going to make it. I think what I'm going to do is we're going to try and make it another 20 minutes. My eyeballs are starting to float. Actually, I don't even think I'm going to make it that long. I think we're going to make it to the end of this round. And I'm probably going to work on this some more because I'd like to take a picture in the morning. So it's too bad that I won't be able to work on this at work. I'm covered in like way too much grease and oil for that to be a good idea. Like, I don't want this thing to smell like a garage. I don't know that the recipient would mind, but I will. Because those smells are really hard to get out. Like, I haven't been able to get it out of my work clothes. And like I said, I don't really mind it. I don't think it's an unpleasant smell. Yeah, executive decision made. We're gonna get to the end of this round, and then I'm calling it good. I also have a book I want to read. Let's be honest here. I mean, that's not really the reason I'm leaving. But I'm going to be reading and then leave. I put up the project time post. I put up something on Patreon. Like, I'm done. Other reasons I've decided to stop socializing. I have got so much to do. And if I'm like going and hanging out, I can't be, I'm not working. And because I have such a limited amount of time to do any of my work, and an even more limited amount of energy, I just can't make that decision right now. Like, it's not a wise decision. I'm sure to somebody in the audience that sounds silly, but like, I'm really dedicated to this work, and I'd like to, actually be able to do it. Like, finish things. I have so many projects, and not like even art projects, but like tasks and like things to do that are not being done because I'm running out of steam so consistently. And I just, that's a whole bunch of no-K for me. I gotta tell you, this go-round of Brioche is going way better. Now, here's the thing. Before, honestly, most of the Brioche looked fine. I'm apparently also being paged to the door. The dog wants to go out too. So it's been a unanimous decision that we must pee on everything. Everybody in the house, apparently. I mean, look at how good that's looking. Y'all, seriously. It's looking fab. Everybody's like, oh my god, the colors are so good. And let me tell you, I have an eye for color. Some people are like, oh, I downplay that. No. I have a good eye for color. And color, like, it matters. If you choose a color that just really doesn't work with what you're doing, It'll turn something that could be gorgeous into something that's freaking hideous. Like, easy. Easy. Um, and some of that is like also, so, and look, if you're telling yourself, well, I'm not good with color, it's short of being colorblind and like literally not being able to see some color and therefore it being difficult for you to differentiate. And I say that because one of the streamers I follow is in fact colorblind. It's also just about understanding how things work. And if you understand how a pattern or the construction of something works, you can, to a degree, noodle out like color that's going to work, or even types of colors. So like, there's a variegation to this yarn, right? Color B technically, and it's not so much that it's too much, right? It's almost like a really heavy speckle. Like speckles usually actually have more negative space on them than this does. But there's like, it's not a variegated where the entire strand is variegated, and it's variegated in like a really discernible pattern. This is some hand painted yarn. And so it is very much, and I'm not saying hand painted, like I'm saying that that's exactly how the dyer made this yarn, because I don't know. So much as this is not something that was just tossed in a vat of one color. There's more than that going on with this. But because it's not, the whole entire strand isn't always changing color, that means that the nature of the color, like how it comes out in a pattern, it's going to be more random. And with this, that works. Now, the other thing that works is this is basically a solid tone. Like there's a little bit of variegation in this, to facts, to be honest. It's not a flat like color, but the variegation is so much less, and so they pair well together. And I mean, this is why you need to hold things next to each other, because holding something next to something else will also change the perceived color that you're seeing. You put things next to black and they look lighter. You put things next to white and they look darker. I mean, that's like how eyes work. And right, everything is relative, right? I got teased by some guy I was talking to for a while because that was my pet phrase. It's like everything is relative, but everything for me is relative. Like everything depends on other factors. I don't make decisions in a freaking vacuum because life is not a vacuum. And to me, it doesn't make sense for you to ignore other factors as if they are not part of the. Which was funny because this is the same person who said that their environment and the people they were around would affect their mood. And I'm like, the same concept. I'm going to take external factors into consideration. Because that's just sensible to do to me. Go lay down. Go lay down. She's like, go walk into my crate and walk back out. I'm like, that's not what lay down means. Anyway, so we've almost made it to an hour. We're gonna call that good. That's pretty good. Yes, it just. So while I'm finishing up these last few stitches, I want to thank everybody who stopped by. If you caught the stream later, thanks for tuning in. Make sure that you give me a follow wherever you end up watching this, whether it's Twitch in the live stream or on YouTube when I put it up there later. It means a lot to me that anybody you know, hangs out with me and sees what I'm doing and cares. So feel free to also like leave a comment or share this with somebody else, or just, you know, congratulations, let me know. That's great. Um, but for now, we're going to call it good. I am done for this right now because my eyeballs are floating and I cannot stand it anymore. I have also reached the end of a row, which is the perfect time to stop. Round, not row, sorry. You can see it coming together. And if you want to see the other side, right, that's what the other side looks like. So I'm going to try to get back to my schedule. I've got a plan that I'm making up, and I just have to do it, and I'm gonna build and all that. So best of luck and best wishes for me to make this happen. So long, farewell. I'm free to say and goodbye, and I will hopefully see you bright-eyed and bushy-tailed tomorrow. Toodles.